The following podcast contains adult content. It is not suitable for minors, professional settings, or the faint of heart. Welcome to FOREPLAY Goes South's About Last Night, a reoccurring monthly episode in which I take a story told on the stage last night's live event and release it the very next day.
My story is also about unfortunate college sex experiences. So a couple years ago, I'm on chat roulette, right? And I just see lips and tits, and it was crazy. No, just kidding. Okay, so yeah, years and years ago, I'm waiting for this girl to come over, really thinking about deep dish pizza. No. All right. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. No, so I used to play minor league baseball in Florida back in the day. All right. If you can't tell, I like jokes. I like to make jokes. I like to tell stories. And in my younger years, I was 19 when I lost my virginity. And the girl was Catholic, so it was a little bit, let's say, non-traditional, the order of operations. And it literally happened because of a joke. So I'm sitting in my house, my parents' house, on AOL Instant Messenger. And I know a lot of stories start with bling. So this girl, we'll call her Margaret, she messages me and she's like, hey, what are you up to? And I said, not fucking much right now. It's the summer and I live in Concord, so there's not a ton of stuff going on. And she says, well, hey man, my parents are out of town for the next 5 or 6 hours. And she only lives 20 minutes away, so this is not a logistical problem. So I say, hey, and I'm not thinking about sex. You know, this is my ex. We had fooled around, broke up. We were just friends at that point. And so I'm like, how about I come over and we do some butt stuff? And there was a long fucking pause. And then she said, okay. Yes.
You hit the stars, man.
Exactly. So I retrieve a tube of KY jelly that I had acquired previously. And if you don't know what that is, it's like surgical lube, basically. It's really thick. It's disgusting. It's not great for sex. But it was that or just whatever we could find in the refrigerator or in the bathroom. So, mayonnaise? I don't know, that would probably work. Sorry, my whiteness is showing. Sorry. Right, so I go over, tube of KY tucked in my back pocket. And we're both kind of like, is this really gonna fucking happen? Is this seriously? Because I was prepared. I was armed and ready to go. And she was kind of like, are you really going to put it in my butt? And I said, yeah. Because I had made a joke. I had to follow through with it. It's important, delivery and follow through.
You must commit to the bit.
Yes, and I did. Right, so we fooled around a little bit. She blew me. I went down on her for the first time. Never done it to a girl before. After about 5 minutes, she said, okay, you can stop now. So, self-esteem, down one notch. And then we hopped in the shower, because, hygiene is important when you're engaging in these sorts of activities. And, so again, I'm 19, I've never done this before. I've seen porn of it, which has not prepared me whatsoever for, what's about to happen. So we go back into her room. I produce the KY jelly. And we start sort of working in that direction. And then eventually I'm like, okay, are you ready? And she's like, I guess. And, that was enough for me. I wasn't as big on consent back then, but it was like, she said, okay, that was an affirmative. And so the first time you get behind a naked person and you can see, this was the first butthole I'd ever seen in real life. And it's a little intimidating back there. I didn't know what I was expecting. I'd only seen, early 2000s porn where everybody's silicone and completely shaved or waxed. And she had like a little bit of butthole hair, which is a very common thing. Most people have that. But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's like an eyelash around her brown eye. And it's like, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm like, all right. So, yes. She was a brunette, so that's accurate. Right, so we get started, and, you know, we start with a finger, then two, then the business. And, yeah, also, like years and years ago, I was in a hotel room, and these two bartenders came in, like, so that's the level we're working with. Yeah, Meta got it. No, it's like, it's totally like reasonable. So we get started. I can tell she's uncomfortable, and I'm also very uncomfortable because having recently finished, I'm not that sensitive, and I'm a little bit freaked out, and I'm fucking covered, like, from knees to fucking navel with fucking KY jelly, because that shit was, like, smushing up against me. And I'll never forget it, because this whole experience is happening, and, you know, the radio's playing in the background, and the fucking Outkast song, So Fresh and So Clean, starts playing on the radio. I can't listen to that song. I leave the room. It's crazy. So things wrap up when she says, "Is it almost over?" And I went, "Yep." So that was it. And that all happened because of a joke. And then later, with the same girl, there was another incident that started with a joke. And so we had basically done most of our first at that point. I'd slept with other people. She'd never, you know, traditional virginity yet. So on a Saturday, again, AOL Instant Messenger, nobody had cell phones in those days. And if you did, you had to hit 48 fucking keys to send like, hi. So I'm working nights at this point from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. And she's like, you know, so my roommate's going to be here with her boyfriend in the weekend. The roommate was also an ex-girlfriend of mine, which is like another whole fucking story. And I'm like, hey, how about you come over, and then while I'm on my 30-minute lunch break, we can have sex for the first time, and then I'll go back to work for 4 hours, and then we can hang out afterwards. This was said facetiously. This was another fucking joke. And there was another long fucking pause, and then she was like, that sounds fine. So I worked for 4 hours. I was a student patrol officer at NC State. It was a very prestigious line of work. We had red jackets, very important function. And I'm wearing the uniform, like, when this is happening, because I don't have time. I have a 30-minute lunch break. It's a 5-minute walk back to the dorm. The girl is not ready when I get there. So eventually, she loses her virginity. You know, it's a good time. It's much better that time. She actually came, and, like, there's no crying afterwards or anything. So, but again, it just happened as a joke. And there's like 10 more of these. I didn't realize it was going to take this long to tell the first two, but like there's like multiple sequels if you guys found this entertaining tonight.
This episode of FOREPLAY Goes South podcast was recorded and produced by event host and podcast creator Metanoia. These stories are recorded live every third Tuesday of the month at Petra's in Charlotte, North Carolina. For more information about FOREPLAY Goes South, follow us at FOREPLAY GS on Facebook, FetLife, Instagram, and Twitter.